entrepreneur, as well as Jose Antonio Carrillo, who is a FIDE Continental President for Americas, who's making the first move in the women's candidates. So we see the players, they are ready. We see moves have been made. So we are off. It is the second half of the candidates officially underway. And I guess we'll see what openings are trotted out by these 8 contestants. And Anish, again, you've been there before. You know what it's like to sit in this exact playing hall. Of course, your candidates event didn't go the way you wanted. You didn't end up in first. But for the players who are not in first place right now, what kind of...
Firouzja, who at the bottom of the scoreboard said he has nothing to lose, after round 7, employed the Taimanov Sicilian with black against Praggnanandhaa. His novelty 10, nay 7N didn't impress the computer, but it did remind GM Anish Giri of some games by the legendary GM Udit Polgar.
It's a more quiet position because white usually castles short as opposed to castling long, and then with both sides having castle short, you know, there are less attacks on the opposite sides of the board. But that game of Vidit was actually very sharp, and he finished it off with a very crushing attack. And that time he definitely surprised Bakro, which is natural. Now Alireza is surprised as well. You know, there's so many things you have to worry about in the Taimanov. Yeah, it's this is maybe not your priority, it's not the 10th most dangerous line of the Taimanov, it's the 17th. And Alireza pulls the queen back. You know, my son started playing chess recently a little bit, and he invented a new song inspired by his own games. The song goes, queen, queen, don't blunder your queen, don't blunder your queen, don't blunder your queen. So I think Alireza did the right thing. He didn't blunder his queen, but not sure he's deeply prepared here.
I don't think he's deeply prepared at all. And one player who is quite prepped up in this line is Eric Rosen. I looked into the game's database, and he's had this position multiple times from the white side. He has brought his bishop to d3, continued the development, and we see Praggnanandhaa is playing that move. I'm wondering if he watched Eric's YouTube videos, Danya.
Oh, I'm sure that's part of his morning, indispensable part of his morning routine. But in all seriousness, if Eric's played a line 3 times, we know that Eric is armed to the teeth with pretty dangerous weapons. And interestingly, this knight cb5 move first played in 1969, the Yugoslav team championship. In that game, black brought the queen up to e5, which seems like a very, very dangerous choice. Here we see the more reasonable queen b8. And after bishop d3, I think it's important to second Anish's point that white's weapon is not necessarily tactical in nature. Just because you played the move knight b5 doesn't mean that white is about to sacrifice all his pieces, especially in light of the fact that it seems pretty clear that white is going to castle kingside. And a6, I think, is the most popular move, which forces a transformation of the pawn structure. After a6, white has to take on c6, and presumably drop the knight back to c3, or does the knight usually get to d4?
c3, done it. Your instinct is correct. against Firouzja, it seems like they had peace. It's no surprise there. Look at the position, trading off all of them, and that means that a draw is a fair result between these two. It started off very exciting, and then it petered out quite quickly.
Yeah, we thought in the early going this was going to be, the marquee matchup, the game of the day, as you kind of see the players disinterestedly going through the motions, achieving the final position, knight and 3 versus knight and 3. But just incredible how quickly this one fizzled out. There were these trades in the center, and I would say a slightly disappointing result for Prague, but at the same time, you cannot consider Firouzja a punching bag. He is still Alireza Firouzja, and he's had a nice rebound the last couple of rounds.
Yes, he is saying that I'm still in this thing, my head is in it. He makes a draw with the black pieces, so for Praggnanandhaa, it might be a slightly disappointing result, considering the games around him, they were decisive, and so for Prague, he's still in it, he's of course in contention, and for Alireza, he's compared to the first 6 rounds. In fact, he's 1.5 out of 2 in his latest 2 games, and he can beat anybody on the planet, Magnus Carlsen included, in any single game. So watch out for Alireza. He is not done with this tournament just yet.
Praggnanandhaa's best chance for an advantage seemed to be 12, b3, but after 12, c3, as played in the game, Black was able to break in the center with 16, d5.